there's no greater high because it's like Halloween on steroids. My name is Richard Wong. My day job is I work at the National Gallery as a protection services team leader. And at night, most of the time I'm working on cosplay. My responsibilities include the safety and security of the National Gallery. A big part of my job is responding to medical emergencies. So I've been trained as a first responder. Most of what we do is we respond to different situations out of the normal, and then we contact the people responsible for those situations to try to normalize it again. Intercom check. It's working, thank you. All right. It's always 12-hour shifts. And whether that's 12 hours during the day or 12 hours at night, 7 to 7, it's always the same. The first thing I ever wanted to be as a kid was He-Man. When you're He-Man, you know, and people sort of marvel at you, there's no feeling like it. It's the first costume I can say I created for myself, by myself, from scratch. It's a very creative outlet for me, cosplay. And also a lot of the costumes that I pick, there's a certain superhero quality about it that you need to be in shape. It's a learning process because, as an example, I'm not a great sewer. In 2012 at Ottawa ComicCon, Patrick Stewart was supposed to be here, and I wanted to meet Jean-Luc Picard, Professor X, whomever, you know? I didn't want to admit that I was on that level of nerd. I hadn't come out of the locker, as it were. And so I thought, I'm going to get the full experience. I'm going to dress up in costume. And so I called up a friend of mine, and so she said, what do you want to be? And in my mind, I was like, Spider-Man. And then she sort of looked at me and said, no, how about Captain America? And I said, I like this plan, except I'm Asian. I don't think that's going to work. And as it turns out, it's the biggest selling point for the costume itself.
I haven't worn anything scandalous all weekend.
I know, I was surprised.
It's the most clothes I've worn at a convention all weekend.
It was weird.
Yeah.
So I volunteer with a group called the League of Superheroes, among other volunteer work that I do. We go out and we take photos at different events with people for charity. It's a fun time, you know, and it gives sort of a validation to this craft. At work is inherently very serious, right? Especially when you're dealing with visitors, you have to be extremely professional. You know, some of them are really upset. Versus as Captain America, you're more like an actor in that role, right? Because you're playing that character, right? You have to be Captain America, who incidentally is, I guess, very professional, but in that role you can affect other people. You can change their outlook.
Stay close to Daddy, okay?
Is this guy Captain America?
Well, the A on my helmet doesn't stand for Canada.
I've seen him in a couple movies, this guy. You're serious. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Often we're compared to like jocks, let's say, who they're Maple Leafs fans, right? Do you know how much money Maple Leafs fans spend on the jerseys, the ball caps, the banners, right? The posters in their room, standing in line for autographs when it's -40 outside. They're just as nerdy as we are. They're just passionate about something else. It's a different type of fandom, and that's all it is. This guy I know at work, you know, he looked at me and said, Wong, you're kind of weird, you, eh? What do you mean? You know, you go to these comic book things, and I looked at him and said, you know, I go and visit sick kids. What do you do on the golf course again? You know, and I think at the end of the day, this is why we have these secrets, right? People will ask questions. Hey, what's the next costume? Do you want to come do my kid's birthday party? I'm not sure that I'd call it art, but I am creating. And it feels like I'm in the right place.